I made over $1.5 million online in less than 3 years. And if you're watching this video, you probably want to figure out how to make money online too. But here's what's crazy. Most people who try to make money online never end up collecting their first dollar. And it's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're dumb. It's because they make one wrong move early on that kills their momentum. And most people don't even realize they're doing it. They're just being sold a lie. So in this video, I'm breaking down exactly what that move is and how to actually approach making money online in 2026. And this is the same proven path that got me to 50K per month and eventually building my own successful online business. And almost nobody's talking about it in 2026. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, now as we dive in, the first thing I want to talk about is very, very important, and that is this. The simple fact that you're even looking into how to make money online in 2026 puts you steps ahead of your competition. And you see, me as somebody who's figured out how to make a ton of money online and been in it for going on 5 years now, I know that in 2026, the best opportunity for people that are hardworking, that want to make more money and have more freedom than they've ever experienced before, is in the online make money space. And you've seen it online, right? You've seen it yourself. You've seen people talk about how they make a ton of money, tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, and they're able to finally experience the freedom that online business gives you, which is being able to work around your own schedule, being able to travel, work from anywhere in the world, and ultimately being able to make a ton of money, because no matter what online industry you get into, they are incredibly lucrative. So if you're like I was a couple years ago, and you're either working like a 9-to-5 job or you're in an in-person sales job and sales environment, I know exactly where you're at. It's 2026 and the world is more expensive than it's ever been before. It's harder than ever before to provide for your family. So obviously that makes you start to inquire and wonder what else is out there that can allow me to make a ton of money without sacrificing my whole life. Well, before we even go any further, just know that online business is 100% where it's at. Now, here's the problem and one of the biggest mistakes most people make when they start to look into how to make money online. You see, if you're an ambitious individual who's been looking for ways online to make money and be able to have more freedom than you have currently, you've probably seen a few different business models advertised, right? Namely, starting an agency or starting a coaching business, right? An agency could be a marketing agency where you're selling AI services to a business. Maybe you're selling the ability to run their ads or whatever it may be, right? There's plenty of different ways you could kind of scale up an agency and different types of services you could offer. And then there's obviously the route of becoming an online coach, right? Coaching people to get in better shape, coaching people on their marriages, their mindset, life coaching, etc., or coaching people on how to make money, whether that's in real estate, day trading, whatever it may be, right? And all those models are incredible, right? Actually, at this current moment, I run a coaching and consulting business where I coach individuals and I also do consulting for other businesses, and my business is wildly profitable, more so than I ever would have thought it could be, right? However, here's the biggest problem and what most people don't realize when they're being marketed to about these other online business models, right? And that is this, right? If you are a driven individual, and let's say you work an in-person sales job, or let's say you work a 9-to-5 job, and you see people marketing the ability to start an agency or start a coaching business, right? That would require you to become an entrepreneur. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being an entrepreneur, and I love it personally, and it is my passion, right? However, when you're going from your in-person sales job or 9-to-5 and you're getting into, online business, a lot of people just aren't ready for that jump yet, because not only do you have to worry about making money and sales, you also have to worry about marketing and operations and taxes and fulfilling for your clients. And what a lot of people don't talk about that market these business models is that there's a lot more that goes into it than simply just sitting back, collecting money and having no stress. And that's what I realized when I was looking at different ways to go into making money online back in 2022. You see, I'm a very driven individual. And at the age of about 19, 20 years old, I decided to turn my life around. Prior to that, I had chosen a life of drinking, drugs, alcohol, toxic friends, and, pretty much being a loser. But at 19, 20-ish years old, I decided to change my life. And I tried 9-to-5s. I'd worked at McDonald's, Walmart, you name it. If it's a crummy 9-to-5 job, I've definitely had it. I also tried sales, right? I tried in-person sales, like car sales and door-to-door even for a brief stint and different things like this. And I knew in 2022, as a 22-year-old kid selling cars, making 6 figures per year, that there had to be a better vehicle that I could put my work ethic into to be able to travel, have the freedom I always wanted to, while also scaling my income to and past and well beyond 6 figures a year. And I looked into these business models as well, starting a coaching business, starting an agency, etc. And once I did further research is when I realized, especially looking back now, that that is the problem and that is where most people failed. You see, again, if you're going from a 9 to 5 job or a sales job into starting an agency or starting a coaching business or any other online business really, right? Then you have to deal with all these problems. It's not as simple as most people make it out to be. It's not as simple as sell stuff, get customers, they pay you thousands of dollars a month. You do nothing, you sit back, you print money, and you travel the world and live your life. That's not how it actually works, right? You see, you have to develop skills and multiple skills at once at that. It's not just like you learn one skill and then you become a millionaire. You've got to learn how to operate a business, how to sell, how to market, how to fulfill all these different things, right? And the success rate in a lot of these business models is extremely low for that exact reason. And it's not that any individual couldn't just go and eventually, build a successful agency or coaching business. I believe in human potential. And I believe that anybody, whether they come in from a 9 to 5 or an in-person sales job, could eventually become a successful entrepreneur, right? However, when you're trying to learn 4 to 5 different skills at once, it can be very overwhelming, right? So with that said, here's what I discovered, and here's what you need to know if you want to know the fastest way to start making money online in 2026. So here's exactly what you need to understand, right? There is one path to getting into the online make money world that you need to know, and that I wish I would have understood a long, long, long time ago. And it's the same path that allowed me to go from a 22-year-old selling cars, working 80 hours a week, making 6 figures, just a little bit beyond, and not having any free time, to making $1.5 million in just a matter of 3 years online and eventually becoming a successful online business owner. And that is this, right? There's one industry and one niche and one profession that you can get into that doesn't require any capital, doesn't require any degrees, doesn't require having, to master multiple skills to be able to see success and start making money. And that industry is called sales. And if you're in a 9 to 5, you may have mixed opinions about sales. But some of you are in a in-person sales job already, right? You're selling cars, doing door to door, whatever it may be. And you already know that sales is a great vehicle for creating freedom and scaling financially. It's been established that a salary is what people pay you to give up your dreams. And you can't become wildly successful getting paid for your time, right? And sales allows you to get paid for results, not your time, just like owning an online business. And the reason that getting into sales inside the online make money world, instead of starting a coaching business or an agency, is the best path when you're starting out is simple, right? It's concentration of skills. You see, when you go from your current job, trying to make money with an agency or an online coaching business, you can do that. Surely you can. However, it's going to require capital. It's going to require money upfront before there's any return, and probably lots of it. It's also going to require a lot of trial and error as you learn this handful, this, basket of different skills you've got to learn just to be able to run your business successfully, right? Then that leads to a lot of stress. That leads to a lot of time and errors and et cetera. And if you don't have runway financially, if you don't have the grit that sales teaches you, these paths can be dead ends for a lot of people and very discouraging, right? On the other hand, though, if you transition from your current job to getting into online high ticket sales, then you only have to learn one skill. In addition to that, you don't got to bring any capital to the table. Maybe you pay to join a group and learn from somebody like myself or somebody else to learn the skill set of high ticket sales and land your first job in that industry. But once you get into the industry, it's literally just a matter of you show up, you do one thing, which is sales, and then you get paid for the results that you generate. And the best part about this is simple. I help people get into remote high ticket sales, and that's exactly what I'm talking about here. That's the best path to getting into making money online, because let's say you leave your current job and you get into online high ticket sales, you're probably going to be selling for an agency or an online coaching business. And the best way to learn how to grow into these businesses in real time, not just through theory by watching YouTube videos and stuff like that, but actually to be in the thing, right? To actually be a salesman, And this is the exact path I followed, right? So, for me, I left car sales at 22 years old and I got into online high ticket closing. And at the time, I just thought this is great. and it's slightly better than car sales. And maybe I can scale my income past 6 figures and break through that plateau I've been at and have more free time and be able to travel and stuff. But I had no clue getting into it how awesome it would actually be. You see, it gave me the freedom I was always looking for. It gave me the income potential. I was able to scale my income all the way to $600,000 and beyond per year. And this is all while being able to work from wherever I want and ultimately live life on my own terms and sell a coaching program that I was passionate about that I knew changed other people's lives. Now, here's the main thing is not only that, but I got to learn how to build an online business because after almost 4 years of being inside a successful coaching business, being the closer, the high ticket closer, that was taking the sales calls, closing the deals, taking the payments and things like that. I was literally playing the role of the most important person inside of one of these organizations, right? The person who literally generates the revenue so that the company can grow. And in addition to that, because I was in sales, I got to understand how marketing impacted sales. I got to see how fulfillment was done, handing those clients off, fulfillment. And then in general, I just got to be a part of the company culture, right? I got to be very tied in with things, like see how the business ran, see how they handled problems, see how they scaled the business and all these different things. And, looking back today, hindsight is 2020. After going almost 4 years inside of this business and from 2022 all the way into 2025, being a part of this company, it gave me the greatest training I could have ever acquired for building an online business. After I left, I decided to start building my own online business. And ever since, my company has been scaling. I've been consulting for other companies as well as build my own coaching business. And it's all because I started by learning that one skill, which is online high ticket sales, rather than trying to go straight to being an entrepreneur and I'm going to figure everything out at once. I literally was able to get paid incredibly well and make money without going into debt or without spending a bunch of money on trial and error trying to figure things out. And I got to learn as I went. So not only did I get to earn a lot of money, but I got to learn a lot as well. It was kind of like both at the same time. So not only was I able to make a lot of money as I was working inside of this company, I also got to learn. I got the most valuable education I probably could have ever got, better than college, better than courses, better than anything, simply by being a part of this company, doing sales and getting paid for doing it. So that's my story. And quite frankly, the reason that I made this video is simple because so many people I see online are trying to get into online making money, yet they don't know the best path. And I see people that try to start these agencies and try to start these coaching businesses and they fail. And then they think that the online make money space, it doesn't work. The fact is it does work. You just got to follow a proven plan. And if you don't already have tons of capital sitting around, if you don't already have a dense knowledge of how the online make money space works, the best path for you is probably not starting an agency, a coaching business, or becoming an entrepreneur. It's probably making the transition, learning online high ticket sales, building up your cash flow, building the skill sets, learning how the online make money space works, and then later on becoming an entrepreneur. Now, with that being said, if you want to learn the fastest way to transition online 2026, which is high ticket sales, and you want to work with me personally, right? I post videos on my YouTube channel every single week, breaking down how to have success in high ticket sales, how it all works. And I also run a wildly successful academy, helping other students from 9-to-5s or their in-person sales jobs break into online high ticket sales through my academy called High Ticket Dominance. So if you want to learn more, you can check out the links in the description, check out the other videos on my account, and I'll talk to you soon.